Welcome to another one of my videos. This is Rick Miracle, video number 38 of 50. I'm closing in on the whole 50. And you might ask, why are you making 50? Well, it's like a puzzle. Let's say somebody gives you a puzzle and the label's torn off the box so you don't know what the puzzle is. And you can do the edges, 20, 30 pieces. You still don't know what the puzzle is. You can start doing some of the upper corner and see a little sky. You still don't know what the puzzle is. You do some more and some more, and finally maybe you see a foot and you wonder, what is that? And you continue on with the puzzle, and now you're up to 50 pieces, 60 pieces. And you go, aha, it's a clown. That's a clown's foot. And you keep on going, and you go, no, it's not a clown. It's a soldier from the Crusades. And finally you go, oh, that's what it is. So you have to reach a certain number of pieces, like reading books like this one. When you read enough books, the whole puzzle of our reality gives you an aha moment. That's what's going on. In this particular book, the Pleiades, if you're paying attention at all to the alien and ET disclosure and UFOs and my videos, and you're anywhere near awake in this reality, you hear a lot about aliens and UFOs and disclosure and secrecy. So I read this book here. You see my tabs here, and I'm only going to focus really on the first chapter, because the rest of it's just more of the same. It's Barbara Marcinek, I'm probably saying her name wrong. Earth, Pleiadian Keys to the Living Library. I have read her other book, Bringers of the Dawn. Anyways, let's read what she has to say about herself. We'll start there. I am an interpreter and conduit for spirit, because I am willing and able to grasp the invisible and translate it as best I can. I hear, feel, and experience the web of existence, the universal source. I am inherently connected to it, perceive the whisperings, impulses, revelations of cosmic forces as I use this source to guide and sustain me. Naturally, the experience is colored by my beliefs. This is an operational principle of existence, where the participant, observer, determines the event. I have developed with great reverence for the power of spirit. So let's start out there, just that questioning that paragraph. I talk to a lot of people these days, and we all know they already have, I guess, and for the most part, taken religion out of the schools and public life. As we read in the Masonic books, the New Age magazines, they've been focused on this for 100 years. So my point is, when I talk to a lot of people these days, they say they don't believe in God. There is no God. It's foolish to believe in God. Yet they're going to be believing in aliens coming from space, which it seems to me that the focus or the conclusion, the theory, is that the aliens are actually interdimensional spiritual beings. Everything that we've known all along, everything that's in the Bible, Jesus casting out demons. Demons were possessing people's bodies. So they were spirits. So she says, I have developed great reverence for the power of spirit. My only beef with that paragraph, which spirit? Good spirit or a bad spirit? A good angel, a bad angel? God or Jesus, or Satan and Lucifer? Just me, but I think that's kind of important. And anyways, Karen, Tara, and I believe and work with the invisibles, whomever they may be. See, she says she doesn't know who they are. Whomever they may be. Alright, moving on. It is no easy task to bring the Pleiadian channelings into written form. The P's, as they speak through me, I guess she calls them the P's, teach through humor, paradox, innuendo, contrast, compassion, and a masterful use of confounding statements and ideas. And as you know, I highlight just certain parts of what I want to do for my video. So I'll be jumping through this quickly and discussing on certain paragraphs if I deem they need to be discussed, from my opinion. You can have your own opinion, of course. Alright, it was to contain 12 chapters. She's talking about her book. Would be designed to deliver the reader deeper into the experience of the influence of 12. 13 sessions delivered in 1991 and 1992. So she had 13 channeling where she was speaking to spirit in 1991 and 1992. 5 channelings were from trips abroad to sacred sites in Mexico, Egypt, Greece, and 2 in Bali, and 8 from specific 3-hour sessions offered around the USA. Moving on, the P's, of course, were at the helm, guiding and intriguing the entire free will process. Moving on to the next page. As invisible friends with a personality, the Pleiadians beckon me to experience an endless, expanding picture of life. I am here to experience and affect the great shift, as it is referred to by my galactic consciousness. So there's a big shift in the paradigm of the world, our reality on Earth. So they say, the New Age. And as George Bush calls it, the New World Order. So it may not be a paradigm shift that many of us will enjoy. Then again, if I'm wrong, it could be bliss. But I don't think so, as this first chapter will tell us a lot of intimate details of Barbara's experience with channeling with the Pleiadians. When Barbara returned from her Egypt-Greece adventure, she called me from Boston and said, "Guess what?" I said. And her friend said, "You started channeling." So I guess she was pursuing to try to channel for quite a while and couldn't do it and had to go to sacred sites, which I guess kicked in the ability to sacred channel. I was eager to meet Barbara's new friends who called themselves the Pleiadians. Barbara was expecting a nice, proper discarnate like Seth. But what did she get? Extraterrestrials. They told me they were going to call me Molly, this is her friend, because I was like a mole who liked to keep her head on the ground and stay out of the limelight. So the Pleiadians have a sense of humor. We are all strong, opinionated women who have learned how to merge our power to work with spirit. I like sitting outdoors doing these videos. First, selected tapes are transcribed. Then the information is divided into specific categories: DNA, reptiles, blood, and the game masters. And again, I'm just jumping over highlighted portions, so you're not getting the whole story. Just what jumped out at me when I was reading it. When Barbara, Karen, and I work together, we always begin with a small ceremony to solidify our energy and let the P's know we're ready to work. We state our intentions, then ring the Tibetan bells 12 times, one for each chakra. Shaka. If you don't know what a shaka is, I'll just be brief. Your body has 7 starting below your stomach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the other 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 are above you. The sky, the moon, the galaxy, the universe. 12 chakras of energy that flow through you and up through you, through your pineal gland and other portals on your body. Rotating masses of energy, chakras. That's my short version of explaining it. We're all bioelectric beings. Most people know that. Our bodies have a lot of electrical signals, and we're biological, and that's how cells feed. They magnetically grab energy particles, food stuff, as it goes through your blood and your body. Alright, moving on. The Pleiadians consistently talk about effortlessness. If something is not effortless, you're on the wrong track. I use that for my business life. When I go in a certain directions and things are difficult, I say, well, I must be doing the wrong thing, and I take another path, and boom, 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 everything seems to fall in place. But that's me. We are you on the golden spirals of time, cycling the epochs of existence, calling to you yourselves to reconsider all you thought holy. So they're taking God out of the Christianity and the religions and out of our schools and our lives. And it says here, reconsider all you thought holy. I thought that was interesting. We ask you to reevaluate the purpose of your life, to redefine the forces that rule you, to resurrect the codes of consciousness stored in your being. And in our world today, we all know there's a lot of mind control and legislation passed, propaganda, gay marriage, even drag queens, transvestites, and adulterous TV. They're trying to change the paradigm from the moral behavior of the past to anything goes, as Aleister Crowley said. I pay attention to those details when I read these books, and you can see the similarity in the thought process, or the thinking. Our ancestors created events that presently stifle our development on the Pleiades, and as Pleiadians we are seeking to discover the solutions to this grand dilemma, a predicament that you share with us. Our civilization in a future from where you are is in peril. So we have been impulsed to go on a journey to find a solution to what has been chasing us. So the Pleiadians' future is imperiled. Our ancestors were some of the original planners of Earth. Orchestrators who seeded worlds, civilizations with light and information through creativity and love. Our ancestors are your ancestors. They gave their DNA to the original planners, and this DNA became part of the DNA of the human species. So the Pleiadians are saying that there are creators. Interesting. Earth exists close to many way portals, the highways that exist for energies to travel throughout your space zone. The master geneticists designed varieties of species. So they had master geneticists who designed varieties of species, some human, some animal, by playing with the varieties of DNA that sentient civilizations contributed to make this exchange center of information, this light center. So what are they saying? Higher evolved life forms all over the galaxy and the universe contributed to the life forms on Earth? And I'm just jumping around, I'm not reading continuous. We're up to page 4 here. They existed long ago, more than 500,000 years ago. We're not speaking of civilizations that you call Lemuria or Atlantis, whose epics refer to a time we call the modern human. So they're saying Atlantis and Lemuria were in the modern times as we are today. Thousands of years instead of 500,000 years ago. We are referring to civilizations that are ancient, like the ones buried under the ice caps of your far southern continent, Antarctica, and under layers of sand in the Gobi deserts of Mongolia. I do know with all the chaos going on in the Middle East, archaeological digs are going on at a fevered rate. It's like they're frantically looking for something under the sand, and I suspect with the satellites in space, they can actually x-ray the sands, the desert. And all the countries, many of the larger countries of the world, in Antarctica, if you go online, have built bases down there and are digging in the ice, again, I suspect, looking for something. What? Consciousness communicates continuously by vibration of electromagnetic forces. As we again all know, we are bioelectric human beings with the pineal gland here between the two lobes of our brain that's full of water and little crystals. And if it wasn't polluted with fluoride that they put in our water, we should be able to use telepathy and higher consciousness communication, dreams. But with the fluoride, it calcifies your pineal gland and apparently disables it to a large degree. And from what I'm aware of the cultist, different, the people into magic and Satanism and Kabbalah, they're aware of the pineal gland, so I suspect the fluoride in the water is intentional for that purpose, to suppress the human consciousness. Earth is in dire straits at this time. There is no doubt about it. Page 6. The family of light to which you belong comes from such a lineage of consciousness. Who are light? Who owns the light? What is beyond light? The family of light is a collection of entities coded to bring information to the planet. So I thought maybe I'd show you a couple pictures here. So the Pleiadians call themselves the light beings. See the glow around this picture? And I went on the internet, looked up Pleiadians, images, just those two words. And there's a Yahoo image site. And I selected some select pictures and went to the local Photoshop and made copies. And the Pleiadian star system in the sky. Here was one I thought was interesting. A lot of your UFO sightings are glowing orbs, and they're reported that UFO ships would fly into the orb and out of the orb, and you notice it glows like a light. And apparently this is what some of them look like. And beings of light flying in the sky, some of the images that people have painted or to describe what they see or what they think it is. And I thought the crazy component to this is a depiction of Lucifer. This painting is in the Vatican basement, and depiction of Lucifer. That is, he's the light bearer. Remember, these are the light beings. They have glowing ships. This is the light bearer. the morning star. On the opposite wall there is a drawing of Vesper, the evening star, the cosmic symbols of human life. So in the book here, it says the Pleiadians are involved with our creation. And it says here in the Vatican Library that the light bearer, the symbols of the human life cycle. So I am connecting the Lucifer light bearer with these beings of light, which are supposedly spiritual beings. Alright, that's my thinking. So like I said, who are light? Who owns the light? What is beyond light? Well, Lucifer's the light bearer. And my series is Freemasonry and Satanism. The family of light is a collection of entities coded to bring information to the planet. So, the information is light. When you become aware, you awaken. The family of light is vast. Its members gather wherever information needs to be disseminated. They are like renegade special forces called in on an emergency. Members of the family of light are able to integrate and survive reality shifts without destroying the bodies of life force they occupy. As a member of the family of light, the ability to change reality exists innately inside you. You must create the belief system whereby you can do this, because your mind is structured to evolve and form your experience based on what you command, no matter what paradigm platform you spring from. The initiation process that has taken place on Earth in many of the mystery schools, so here we go again, Freemasonry, Rosicrucian, Kabbalah. The initiation process that has taken place on Earth in the many of the mystery schools. So here I am connecting the light, Satan, with the Freemasonry, says here, over the last several thousand years, exemplifies our point. Members of the family of light have pushed themselves past the laws of third dimension reality. You knew before you arrived that losing your memory was part of the process. So they're saying when people, me, you, came to Earth, we knew before we arrived that losing our memory was part of the process. You specifically picked the moment of time and parentage that would give you the best connection to energetically and genetically bring you about your purpose. When you incarnated into Earth plane, you received certain matched and paired recessive genes holding light codes that gave you the highest opportunity to develop psychic and intuitive abilities. When you incarnated into the Earth plane, when you were born, you received certain matched and paired recessive genes holding light codes that gave you the highest opportunity to develop psychic and intuitive abilities. And then came the Rockefellers during the early 1900s and forcefully and connivingly forced fluoride in the water everywhere, which suppressed the consciousness of many humans. From my research, and there's books how he did it, city to city, and as an extensive mutation occurs on the inside of humans, also stimulated from the outside by those who are assisting you in this genetic upliftment, you must act and integrate what is awakening with you. In this class, you are in great humor because the professor is explaining something to you. So apparently, maybe when you go to sleep at night, you go to different classes. Your spirit does. When you go down to Earth, believe it or not, you are going to need to have to come have us come and instruct you because you won't remember any of this. Watch this. We will show you pictures. See, there we are coming through a vehicle, and there you are in your human disguise. In that classroom, you were coded to respond to us as Pleiadians, and to many others. As you open to your greater identity, be receptive and willing to go beyond your boundaries, because this is what we are striving for. You will understand that sometimes we have completely made things up in order to trigger something inside of you, in order for you to grow as a human being. We are crafty teachers. Remember, Barbara's doing channeling, speaking to these Pleiadian spirits. Moving on. We are not here because we have nothing else to do. We are here to assist the transformational process that is now beginning to bubble and create steam around your planet. If you knew as much as your higher self knows at this time, you would be very impatient with this assignment. It involves incarnating as a human, thinking you are human, evolving yourself into something more than a human, and then realizing that you were more than a human in the first place. There's a whole circle. Humans are considered by some in this universe to be priceless, though in actuality you yourselves have no idea of the value stored in your human body. Your human body is the most valuable thing you will ever own and encounter. You are priceless. This is what the Pleiadian spirit entities are telling Barbara through channeling. Battles have long been fought over Earth, and as a result, you have been purposely enticed away from discovering the wealth of data stored inside of you by controlling or limiting forces. Trying to get my speaking to flow better. Earth is a microcosm of the macrocosm, a miniature version of what is happening all over, except that Earth is at a trigger point, what we call a kernel. So Earth is a macro of the a micro of the macro. As above, so below is the saying, and it says it right in that book. And again, we see that that's what the devil does when he points up and points down. A lot of people know this, as above, so below. And you got Madonna doing a satanic ritual. Remember, the series is Freemasonry and Satanism, and the devil pointing above and below. And the light on his head, the light bearer. Notice the devil's 2 forefingers. George Washington's statue, the 2 forefingers. Freemasonry and Satanism, the devil, the 2 forefingers. I just went on the devil images, Satan images. Notice the torch on his head. That would be the light bearer. And many of your presidents are Masons. They control our world, and they're into the occult. Now you're getting a little bit closer to seeing what it's all about. The obelisk is the symbol for Osiris. George Washington points above and below, like the devil did. Obviously, George was a well-known Mason. And I also like to point out that they revere him as a god, or as Caesar. Notice his bare chest, and the apron around his waist, and draped over his shoulder. It's kind of odd for the USA president to be depicted that way, don't you think? But when you go to the higher purpose, and they portray him as a Jesus-like character to the occultic people, there it is. And we know that the obelisk is a phallic symbol for the god Osiris, and that Santa Claus was also an occultic character, and so they decorate the obelisk in Asheville, North Carolina here with the tree lights. The tree, remember in the Bible, the devil gave Eve the apple from the tree of knowledge. And here we got the devil with his torch, the light bearer, with chained humans. And here we got him doing the devil sign that we've seen Miley Cyrus, Obama, Bush do on TV. And the light on his head. And while I'm at the pictures, I'll wait till I get it in this Pleiadian book up to that particular paragraph. Alright, so back to what it says here, as we saw the devil and George Washington pointing above and pointing below, as above, so below. A lot of people who know the occult and a lot of the stuff have heard that term before. So it says in Barber's book, Earth is a microcosm of the macrocosm, as above, so below. A miniature version of what is happening all over, except that Earth is a trigger point, what we call a kernel. And again, as you see, I'm just moving from one paragraph there to a paragraph on the next page. In the beginning there was the Word. That's like the first paragraph in the Bible. The Word was sound. This is how creation sprang into being. Sound affects all of you and is changing your planet. I think Sky Spring and HAARP, H-A-A-R-P, are certainly changing our planet for the worse. So what kind of genetic mutations or manipulations are going on? I suppose the Pleiadians are guiding our officials into this transformation. It's hard to figure what's going on in this world. That's why I'm doing these book reviews. The word remember has to do with claiming the source who created you, the same as the words we are here. The words identify the source of your creator. When we come to speak to you, the words we use proclaim through sound that we come from the source of your maker in the Pleiades, the source of your maker in the Pleiades star system. Your cells hear this. Call your body into remembering in its own, and call your body into remembering it's on its own. To a large degree, Earth lost her sovereignty, and another force of rulership came in and claimed ownership of this prime hunk of real estate that you call home. Well, it seems that the powers that be are not 1% of the population in charge of our planet, own 99% of the real estate, and they're getting more every day. And the people are losing more every day. Just pointing that out. Earth was established billions of years ago for a purpose. She was to be the intergalactic exchange center of information, part of a vast library system where data from many, many galaxies was stored. A living library, to be precise. So that's the name of this book, Earth, Pleiadian Keys to the Living Library. The original planners of Earth were members of the family of light. Beings who worked for and were associated with an aspect of consciousness called light. Light is information. So beings of light and ships of light and the light bearer, the painting in the basement of the Vatican, Lucifer. Just saying, the coincidences are there, so I like to point them out. The project of the living library on Earth was eventually fought over. Skirmishes took place, and Earth became a place of conflict and duality. Certain creator gods who had the right to do whatever they wanted, because Earth is a free will zone, came in and took over. When these skirmishes occurred, a certain group of entities fought in space and won the territory of Earth. These new owners wanted the native Earth species to remain unevolved and uninformed so that the species could be easier to control. Sounds like what's going on today. I looked in that other book that I did a review on, Morals and Dogma, by Albert Pike, the Freemasonic sort of Bible, I suppose. I looked up the Pleiades in there. I thought I'd read a little bit about it. Let you see this is a much bigger picture than what people know. Before the color of the venereal equinox, this is page 451, had passed into Aries, that's astrology, and after it had left Aldebaran and Hades, the Pleiadians were, for 7 or 8 centuries, the leading stars of the Sabian year. And thus we see on the monuments the disk, the crescent symbols of the sun and the moon. So if we remember our pictures of this guy, you see the crescent, and the moon. So in all this symbolism is everywhere. Symbols of the sun and the moon in conjunction appear successfully, first on the head, then on the neck and the back of the zodiacal bull, and more recently on the forehead of the ram. Alright, so I'm just trying to move over to show you that Pleiades is in this book in a couple places. When that was made, the year did not open with the stars in the head of the bull, but when the color of the vernal equinox passed over the middle or later degree of the Artism, Taurus and the Pleiades were in China, as in Canaan, the leading stars of the year. Over here it says, Orion ran the legend, persecuted the Pleiades, and to save them from his fury, Jupiter placed them in the heavens, where he is still pursued, but in vain. So in Barbara's book, they're talking about a war and fighting in heaven. In heavens. The Pleiades were so named from a Greek word signifying to sail. In all ages they have been observed for signs and seasons. Virgil says that the sailors gave names to the Pleiades, Hades, and the northern car. So as you can see, the Pleiades were sometimes called Virginio, the virgins of the spring. So when we know that the Freemasons are controlling our society, and they want to do with something called the separation of church and state, I'm just pointing out that anything could be further from the truth. They have a particular religion of their own, and maybe a purpose of their own. And as we heard from Barbara here, they wanted to withhold knowledge from people and enslave the human species. So let me get back to the book. The word remember has to do with claiming of source. The original planners of Earth were members of a family of light. We read that. Skirmishes on Earth, and Earth became a place of conflict and duality. Certain creator gods who had the right to do whatever they wanted to took over. When these skirmishes occurred, a certain group of entities fought in space and won the territory of Earth. These new owners wanted the native Earth species to remain unevolved and uninformed so that the species could control them. I think now they want to do microchip in all us humans. Wow, you won't be able to go anywhere. You'll have a little sheet of information given to you, what you're supposed to do every day. And if you deviate it, their computer will know it. When the children of the gods began playing with gold and genetics and with the blood, toying with the power of the female, they had no idea what they were creating. Do you know that we made the tyranny, that we stripped you of your heritage? This is the Pleiades speaking. Do you know that we made the tyranny, that we stripped you of your heritage? Remember the light bearer here? That's the devil. We stripped you of your heritage, a fully functioning 12-stranded DNA. Everybody knows you use less than 10% of your brain. Do not be naive about Pleiadians, including us. Why do you think we are doing this healing work on your planet? Consider that perhaps we need you for our next phase of development. If we wish to grow, we must heal a past that we have been connected to. Our ancestors have played havoc with your planet as well as assisted you through many, many changes. Lovely folks, the Pleiadians. Pleiadian energies manipulated the genetic line of human beings and were connected to the reptiles. This is what we have come back to heal. This is the purpose of our visit. In other words, we cannot evolve further as creators until we give all our abilities and all our rights to everything we have created. To some extent, Earth has been turned into a magnetic vortex that attracts fallen energies. These energies have moved into the entire area around your solar system, not simply Earth. Do not think that every place else is fine while Earth is in blemish. In actuality, your entire solar system is going through some difficulties at this time. So when they're talking about global warming, as they do all in the propaganda everywhere, climate change, what they don't tell you is that on, you can look it up on the internet, but Mars and Jupiter are experiencing difficulties and changes in their weather and previously documented climate, I guess. I think the big dot on Jupiter disappeared or moved. Earth has been pulling negative energies to herself. Beings associated with these energies have fallen from very idealized heights that were made where they made decisions. Sorry about that. Sometimes I get these words out. Perhaps the wrong or inappropriate decisions, and lost the power to construct uplifting realities. Yet, this was all part of the plan. My mouth gets dry when I'm speaking. The words get tongue-tied. So there is a great benefit in this whole process. Nothing to be frightened of. Absolutely nothing. Are you believing this? This is the the UFO sightings, the book we did previously, the light beings, and it says here, so there is a great benefit in this whole process to construct uplifting realities. Let's see here. So there is a great benefit to this whole process. Nothing to be frightened of. Absolutely nothing. We want you to be very well aware that you are honored for who you are. And as you begin to honor yourself, you will draw to yourself opportunity beyond your conception. Wow. One of the most exciting aspects of being on Earth right now is the retooling taking place in your DNA. So somebody is retooling our DNA. Could that be why there's sky spraying and HARP, H-A-R-P? Cell phones with transmissions, can they dial up a program on us? Cosmic light, encoded rays as photons, have been coming onto Earth, stimulating change and reordering a reordering inside the human body. The scattered data that holds the history and awareness of the living library is now reorganizing. The galactic tide wave of light, as expressed through the great Uranus-Neptune conjunctions of 1993, brought an infusion of cosmic rays onto the planet, creating a potential third strand of DNA to the masses. The scattered data is being pulled together in your body by electromagnetic energies from Prime Creator. We are here to watch this process in you, to assist you, and to evolve ourselves. Now maybe I'll just take a little break here and do another picture show. How's that? So on that website, Pleiades Images, there's a star system. There were some pictures of these people. If you can call them people. Billy Myers over in Switzerland had many visits. They communicated to him spiritually channeling. You can look this up on the internet. And they came in ships like that. And apparently it takes them 3.5 years to speed up to a significant speed where they can, I guess, time warp, so to speak. And then they zoom across the galaxy and then slow down, and it takes 3.5 years to get here after they start slowing down. So it takes them 7 years, according to Billy Myers. The family of light. Do we have to get the picture of Lucifer there, the light bearer, again? This one looks like Jesus, I guess. When you look at these pictures on the Yahoo image site, it has notes on the bottom left where they came from. Are these Pleiadians? See the ship in the back? The Pleiadian Tantric Workbook. So it's all spiritualism and occultism, as we saw in Morals and Dogma. So we're certainly tying in Freemasonry and Satanism with these Pleiadians. There's the stars themselves and the spaceship. There's your shaka on your head communicating. Remember I said you have 7 and then the other ones are above you? Apparently they have interesting eyes. Can't tell. Somebody you know may be a Pleiadian. And I guess they have earth in their hands. So they would have us believe. There's the wings like you see on the Egyptian hieroglyphics. I don't know why her face was on there. Look at those eyes. So there's a female there coming from the ship to see Billy Myers. There's Billy Myers in the Pleiadian. And apparently he spent many years communicating with them. You can look this up on the internet. The sexual embrace there. Apparently in Barbara's book, sex is a big part of the experience to communicate with the above. The light beings. Just thought I'd point out some of this so you get a better feel who the Pleiadians are. They use that beam to abduct people. You can see the person in the bottom of the beam. The symbol on a lot of your medical hospitals and doctors, the snake. Here's a big craft over the car. So we did the Syrians, now the Pleiadians. Apparently Billy Myers took pictures or drawings. Beings of light. Back to the book. You live in a web of invisible energy. You are aspiring to develop full use of your brain. More and more to 8 to 10% currently employed. So like I said, they're trying to help us develop the use of more of our brains. In the meantime, they're putting fluoride in the water, which is inhibiting the very use that we could have now, according to my research. We're reminding you of what you know inside yourself. We have come onto this planet to trigger your memory bank, to inspire the human race through light, so that you will begin to remember who you are and create your own reality. You will alter the frequency of your planet and claim rightful ownership of yourself and this territory. Well, they're saying the whole Earth is going to be destroyed with pollution and global warming, and here they're saying you will alter the frequency on the planet and claim rightful ownership of yourself in this territory. Well, if all the powers that be don't ruin it before we get it, I suppose. You will rise to the opportunity to master the situation as you trust in abilities that you did not think you had. We have a very deep fondness for each and every one of you because you have helped us. You have assisted us in delivering something. There is something that we are getting at here. These last few years, you have been impulsed into diving more deeply into personal exploration, the meaning of identity, and connecting with your cosmic overview of life itself. Well, that would be the New Age propaganda. It started about 60, 70, 80 years ago, and has been, actually there was a publishing company called Lucifer Publishing that was publishing a lot of this material. I think Helena Blavatsky was the one who was involved with that. And to give a better image to the company, they changed it to Lucas Publishing. And if you look at a lot of your New Age books, you will see Lucas Publishing. And if you go on Wikipedia, you'll see it used to be called Lucifer Publishing. This is where the whole New Age started. So don't be fooled. Look the stuff up I just said. Your dedication to reevaluating, reconsidering, and reorganizing your basic assumptions about life has been expanded the expressions of civilization itself. For the last 500,000 years, various civilizations on Earth have been seeded from different star systems that were part of the original library program. Each appeared at a different time period, penetrating a controlled force field that isolated Earth and kept it inaccessible as a library. These civilizations would flourish for 500 years, 5,000 years, 10,000 years, and then the forces that owned the planet would somehow shoo them away and destroy them. Are they planning on shooing us away and destroying us? World War III seems to be looming. This is July 26, 2014, Saturday afternoon. The news in the last couple weeks has just been mind-boggling. When enough humans can read the clues seeded by these civilizations, Earth's keys for harmonious cosmic existence will be understood. Egyptians, Incas, Balinese, Greeks, Tibetans, Sumerians, Native Americans, Mayans, Aboriginals, and many, many other indigenous peoples have contributed keys to understanding, all pointing to the heavens. Where did these civilizations come from? Do you think they sprang out of the ground like daisies? They were created from thought. They were impulsed into being. All the cultures that achieved high ideals were conceived by the game masters. On Earth, the idea came that humans could be owned and treated without respect, came on the planet 500,000 years ago, and was very pronounced in many areas of the world. Humans and versions of humans were used as slaves to dig in mines and to vibrate with certain emotional patterns And as I keep saying, the fear and the mayhem and all that is a vibration that certain reptilian and other entities, spiritual entities, feed on. They actually feed on fear and terror. That's probably a better food for them. The greatest teaching brought to the planet was the idea that all humans are created in equality and that life is to be honored in all forms. Expand your concept of existence and imagine this. For an occupation, game masters orchestrate realities and then insert these realities as life forms onto different planets. Game masters get together, like you would for a game of cards or racquetball. Only their game involves creating civilizations. They alter and change worlds by allowing variations within civilizations to enter into the realization they orchestrate. So I guess they would have us believe that they're playing a game with our reality, bringing us up and down and all the chaos and terror and world wars and plagues. And game masters are brilliant. Not only do they conceive of the game and create the entire blueprint for the civilization to flourish, down to the finest artisans and beggars. Well, the game masters are creating the beggars. They seed themselves into the civilization as well. The Mayan, who lived at one time in Mexico and Central America, were masters at doing this. They were skilled at confounding realities and moving from one system to another system. The word Maya refers to illusion of reality. The Maya were so advanced as keepers of time that they literally were able to create realities to steer future seekers toward and away from discovering their true identity. The Maya were as adept in their own way as the Egyptians. The Egyptians were able to conjure many thought forms of reality, travel into worlds in a different way. We as Pleiadians, remember this, are a game master experiment. The game masters are formless. The movies 2001-2010 revealed the idea of the game master, showing behind-the-scenes influences on certain life forms. The game masters are unbounded, formless shapeshifters. Don't they say we have shapeshifters on Earth right now? The reptilians? They can take any form they choose. Wow. For they move between and beyond sound and geometry. On Earth, at this time, there are sacred sites, cultures that you think are lost and that you will never be in contact with again. During the Great Awakening, the shift of consciousness, these cultures will come alive and will all operate simultaneously because their blueprints will be recalled, magnetized back into these opening multidimensional planes. So what they say is everything is sound and geometry. So I thought I would do another little picture thing and come back to something where Obama gives the Bill Clinton and Oprah the Medal of Freedom. I'm sure you've seen me point this out. See, the circles, the 13 stars, which is the death card and the terror card. There's 13 stars there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's the death card, and the witch's number 13. There's 13 beads on their prayer beads. 13 stars on the dollar bill over the eagle. 13 arrows in his hand. 13 flowers. 13, 13. So there's 13 stars. There's the 2 rings and the star. My point is, Bill Clinton gets the presidential award. And as this book says, everything is geometry. We all know the witchers draw circles, and as we saw, this is a satanic symbol. See the star, see the circles? And I wanted to point out that your police badges, stars and circles. So I'm just saying, the geometry of these occultists is verifiable if you know where to look and you pay attention. So that medal of freedom that Oprah and Bill Clinton got, and we know about Bill Clinton and a lot of the politicians at large, George Bush and the Skull and Bones, the Bohemian Grove, where our leaders go and dress up in robes, ship in gay men, and have a satanic ritual and throw a baby in a fire. The Mayans were as adept in their own ways as the Egyptians. We as Pleiadians are a game master experiment. They're unbounded, formless shapeshifters. So I'm tying all this together. They can take any form they choose, for they move between sound and geometry. On Earth at this time, there are sacred sites and cultures that you think are lost. Sometimes these civilizations last for a much longer or shorter period than your archaeologists believe. They can simply appear as if they exist for many eons when in actuality some of these expressions called civilizations can occur in an afternoon. That idea may be too vast or foreign for you to digest at this point of your expansion. However, one day we will push you to these limits so that you can begin to realize the reality is indeed quite flexible. So are they saying they can snap their fingers and all of a sudden in Florida appears in the ground artifacts that seem to have been there for thousands of years, but they were just made seconds earlier? Is that what they just said? This idea may be too vast or foreign for you to digest at this point in your expansion. However, one day we will push you to those limits so that you can begin to realize that reality is, indeed, quite flexible. We want to push your boundaries to identify. We want to confound what you believe reality is, because then you will be able to feel information from your higher self. We are not here to redefine your world. Sounds like they are. We are here to help you dismantle the blueprint that you have been living within and to give you some suggestions of very general laws around which you can build new structures. The umbrella idea behind this is that whatever you think, you can create. So they're saying we can create whatever we want just by thinking about it. I'd like to create the thought that all the world's wars and mayhem and economic destruction stop. So maybe that's what we all need to start doing, is thinking for all that to stop. By freeing you up and experience this grand concept, it is our intention that eventually you will come into your full brain capacity. Given that this free reign to unfold to who you completely are, you will eventually release the great codes of consciousness within you. The codes and master numbers we seek are geometric formulas, combining with intelligence stored within inside the human. And again, you know, they got this Obama Freedom Medal, geometric forms, and it's everywhere, by the way. That medal is, and if you go look up any Satan site, you'll see many, many examples of this as a satanic symbol. And the eagle, by the way, on one of my videos I pointed out, is the image of the goat god, you know, the deviled horns. Mendes is in, we read that in Morals and Dogma, the book I have here, that is a symbol, the eagle is a symbol for the goat god Mendes. So you got 13 on there, you got the others, the star, all these symbols on this freedom medal that Obama gave out. And the eagle is Mendes, the goat god. Here's the goat's head in the symbol. And the police badges everywhere. So everything is geometry. Inside the human body are formulas to replicate other forms of intelligence throughout your universe. The master numbers are achieved when a critical mass of individuals are able to emit specific vibrational codes. I estimate, and I'm not trying to get on the gay issue too much, but the propaganda for gay marriage has been going on for 10 years. And it is a paradigm shift in thinking. And it's probably over $1 billion, and it's emanating from the United Nations, and they're forcing this on people all over the world. This new paradigm shift of acceptance of behavior. And even in Israel, during the Gay Pride Parade, they had men in G-strings dancing on a float, which I don't know how that has anything to do with gay marriage. But my point is, with these game masters, or these human designers, so to speak, the people controlling our world, the master numbers are achieved when a critical mass of individuals are able to emit specific vibrational codes. So when a certain amount of people click in and accept this propaganda change, like global warming, you know, it's a reality that are we going to be able to, are we manifesting a reality, as Hitler said, tell a big lie and tell it often enough, people will believe the big lie. That's what Hitler said. Look it up. In this universe, duality and polarities are essential in activating free will to its greatest potential. Aleister Crowley, the evilest man alive, who bragged about killing children and I believe eating them and sacrificing them to the devil, advocated, "Do as thou wilt." So no matter where I read through this material, the being of light, Lucifer, I keep finding things that match. In this universe, duality and polarities are essential in activating free will to its greatest purpose. So what is free will? Free will is free will. Is it the free will to kill people, to rob people, for the elites to amass billions, trillions, gazillions of dollars, and the poor people starve and die? These people said they created even the beggars. Reality is multi-layered and continuously birthing new versions of itself, so it is not the same from one moment to the next. And it's hard to bank on that information and plan for your future. How much more we have here? We have only 2 pages. With specific beings returning, occupying the lands, and bringing their stellar consciousness, eventually Earth will be reestablished in a very different colony. We know that they're trying to bring us a new world order, and they're passing legislation that can abduct anybody they want. Their government's buying hollow point bullets. We got FEMA camps. We got such much chaos going on. And it says here, Earth will be reestablished as a very different colony. And they also said in this book, do not worry, do not be afraid. Do not concern yourself with it. We're in charge. There will be a sense of exaltation, a sense of harmony, and cooperation, and unity, creating greater opportunity for all. Well, isn't that nice? The same thing is happening on a universal level. Earth is one of the essential libraries of this galaxy and universe, so this is why the drama is so big. As Earth goes through her transmutation, the combined psychic energy of Earth's inhabitants will send a message of her transformational process that will eventually ripple out vibrationally and create a great shift in how all worlds participate in the sense of polarity in this universe. It is our intention to convey to you a larger perspective of your Pleiadian and stellar heritage, and to inspire you to be more responsible, courageous, daring, and fun-loving beings. That's what it says here. Your Pleiadian ancestry is much bigger, much complex, and more all-inclusive than you currently recognize. We want you to remember your ancestry and discover a very ancient truth. We will go deeper into what the game, the codes, and the master numbers mean. Within the Pleiadian system, we are facing a crisis of ending. So within their system, they're facing a crisis of ending. apparently through channeling, they've been visiting Earth through Billy Myers and other sightings people have seen. And I guess they have Earth in their hands. And they're having a crisis in their star system. According to the channeling they got here through Barbara. The pain of the Pleiadian experiment has to do with finding a way to appease Mother Goddess, because it is the Mother Goddess to whom we are all connected. That sounds kind of occultic. Somehow the reptilian energies are sneaking out of the closet these days. You think? There are many things going on. Comets, meteors, asteroids, coming from space. Planets that move at will. All kinds of phenomena are getting people to wonder what is happening in this world, as to global grasp of reality is slipping away. Our global grasp of reality is slipping away. We want you to understand that it is all in divine order. Wow. Are these people God? People don't believe in God. They believe in aliens. The times are changing, and it is not for you to panic over what is coming. Yeah, don't worry. Don't panic. Comets are moving. Hollywood's making comets crashing into Earth movies. All kinds of end of the world. Hunger Games. Can you trust these spirits communicating through Barbara? Methinks not. They say they trick you right in here. We remind you that you are the family of light. So Lucifer is the light bearer, and we are the family of light. So I guess we are Luciferians. Not me. You? And millions of you are on assignment on Earth at this time. In this way, Earth herself, a veritable living creature. So apparently Earth is a living creature. Can move into her own transition and die to an old order. So Earth can move into a position and die. Some of you are petrified that Earth is dying. You want to build a big wall to stop the death of Earth. This is the Pleiadian speaking, not me. Barbara's book. The deterioration of the environment. I think that's man-made by the powers that be, not by the people. The sky spraying, Gulf oil spill, Fukushima. There are powerful forces, I believe, destroying our Earth. In actuality, all of the events that seemingly are distasteful, difficult, and heinous create the impetus that is needed to move and activate Earth's 6 billion people into change. That's so funny they say 6 billion, because on the Georgia USA Guidestones it says they want to maintain an Earth population of 500 million, and apparently Earth right now has 6,500,000,000. So 6 billion people have to leave the Earth, according to the Georgia Guidestones, die. And here they want to activate Earth's 6 billion people into change. Others will see that you are stable, grounded, loving, and that you work in the name of peace. Stay clear on that. Always adhere to the concept of peace as you reach for something currently unknown, and make friends with energies whose looks could frighten others. You are doing very, very powerful work. So you're supposed to be friendly with any energies you meet whose looks could frighten others. As a member of the family of light, you are bringing in the age of unified thought transmission, the age of light. The mind revolution is taking hold very quickly in all cultures. We give you the keys straightforwardly, and we trick you. That's what they say. We always trick you. It is wise that you be a little suspicious of us. That's what it says here. Page 26. If you are not, you are a fool. Learn to have skepticism with all things, and learn that sometimes we have a great reason for what we do, even though perhaps this is not apparent to you at the time. We say to you in all honesty, sincerity, that your greatest interest, your integrity, your safety, your nurturance are our first concerns. So they say that when they say up here we trick you. We do not want to lose you. But up here they say we trick you. If you can comprehend that we need you, and that we want you, and that you are valuable. And up here it says we always trick you. I didn't write it. If we are successful in activating you as an intelligence being, if we are successful, they're not sure they're going to be successful, then you qualify to trigger certain codes and master numbers within your being that will shift the entire spectrum of existence on this plane as you know it. We offer you one clue on the last page here. We simply have our own snazzy way of doing it. We have our own personality and our own agenda. We have our own personality and our own agenda, and we know how to stimulate you, to get you to move and be uplifted. We know how to set you free, and that is what we are after. It is our intention to return the value of human existence to the forefront of creation. Anyways, apparently, energy exercise, take a deep breath, allow yourself to relax, go inside, intend to make maximum use of the energies that are presently flooding you, stretch your consciousness out to the 12th chakra, wherever this is for you. From your 12th chakra, hear the sound of intent that resonates inside your body. Imagine waves, pulses of light from far in space moving your way. So they're trying to tell you to contact these spirits. As these waves of light travel towards you, listen to the response throughout all of existing life. Let these light waves come into your planet and feel that you are a magnet for expanded consciousness. From this moment forward, intend to access the frequencies of consciousness as we, as the Pleiadians, make available to you effortlessly and joyfully. And thank you for watching this video. There's more in this book. Just skipping up here. We can't move because you can't move, page 109. You can't move because we prevented you from evolving by genetically rearranging you. We did this so you would not have the abilities that we have and use them to usurp us. Now, 500,000 years later, we're in a big crunch. We know that we made one heck of a big mistake if there are mistakes to be made. Right out of the Pleiades, well, it's not out of their mouth, it's out of Barbara's mouth when she was channeling them. So now you know a little bit more about the Pleiades and my opinion of reading the material. And it's in Morals and Dogma, a couple different places if you look it up. And the Medal of Freedom is a satanic Medal of Freedom. So Freemasonry, Satanism, the Pleiadians, the Game Masters, it seems we have a lot of befuddlement going on. And as the Protocols of Zion say, they want to confuse humanity so they can have a new world order. Well, that's enough for this video. Thank you. And let's see what the next video brings. Like I say, don't believe everything I think. I've read from the book. I've diversified on my information. And hopefully you can come to a closer grasp of a truth, reality that you can digest and you can form. Because we are living in crazy times and people just don't know what to believe. So I make these videos do as well as I can speaking, and I know you have to pay attention and pause it and dig out the information and take notes and look it up. I can't do everything for you. And thank you. Have a great day. God help us all. Well, I was going to end this video, but I walked outside where I live and I saw this insane sky spraying going on. So I thought I'd just add this to the last part of my video and discuss it. Well, I was going to end this video, but I walked out on my front steps and saw the insane sky spraying, and I don't really believe in coincidences. But anyways, I went to check my email, and there was a email to me. I put keywords into the computer on Yahoo, and they send me news alerts. But geoengineering and the UFOs. It's a press release that just came out July 26th, 2:33. So what is it, 5:30 here? That was on my email. Geoengineering and UFOs. Is there a connection? Christian Nash of Cromer's UFO Watch Group poses new question. You can look this up on your computer. I think it has to do with the Pleiadian thing, because they said they were geneticists and were designing us and creating our reality. So let's take them at their word and see what this says. The founder of an identified flying object UFO watch group in Cromer is searching for answers that he claimed after he claimed more than 50 objects appeared in a photograph he took of the Norfolk skies. So here's the sky pictures that was on my email, and he circled all of the UFOs you could see there. Searching for answers after he claimed more than 50 objects appeared in a photograph he took in the Norfolk skies. Christian Nash of St. Mary's Road started the group 2 years ago because of his interest in the subject of a number of years. That's sky spraying powder up there, and apparently he photographs it, and he noticed a bunch of UFOs in it. Searching for answers after he claimed more than 50 objects appeared in a photograph he took of Norfolk skies. Here Mr. Nash has highlighted the objects since he claims to have seen a number of unusual things, such as witnessing black triangles, a class of UFOs which have reportedly been observed since the 1940s to the present. And earlier this month, while observing geoengineering, that's sky spraying, and I just took a short video that you just saw, that they're spraying here in Asheville, North Carolina, in the mountains, kind of crazy right now. I haven't seen that in a while. After observing geoengineering to production and use of subsurface Earth resources, Mr. Nash believes he discovered a number of objects within a photograph he took in Thorpe Market on July 8th around 8:30 p.m. I was photographing contrails, the white lines planes leave behind, he said. The photo highlights over 50 UFOs surrounding aerosol disbursement. Obviously, they could be anything. At the end of the day, they are UFOs, but that does not mean they are aliens. I've come across people taking pictures of geoengineering before and had other things come up in the pictures. For me, it was a coincidence getting that picture. I think there is some sort of connection there, but it is down to people to decide. So, again, tying in the whole thing, the Pleiadians admitting that they were genetically modifying, controlling our reality. And the sky spraying going on here in North Carolina that I just videoed, and this press release in my email inbox, where this guy took a picture of the sky spraying and had 50 unidentified objects in the sky. Wonder if it could be Pleiadian spiritual beings showing themselves. Will we be seeing more of that? Okay, now this is the end of the video. Thank you.